Okay, it's West Indies versus Sri Lanka. It's day 2, session 2. West Indies are 165 for 4 after 48 overs. And here we go, Sunal Dinusha. So far at the crease, Jangu 35-68. Justin Greaves, 12-6 new batter in. They lost a wicket in a recent over. If you look at the scorecard, Joshua Da Silva, he depart for 20. And now then they are looking for a partnership. West Indies are trailing by 143. They still have 6 wickets in hand. Sri Lanka in first innings, they scored 308 for 10. Dhananjay Da Silva batted really well, 120. Scored 17 boundaries in that first innings. Asita Fernando back into the attack with his 12th over. Sri Lanka in first innings. Dhananjay, the highest score for them, the captain, led the team from the front. Scored 120. Dinesh Chandimal scored 54 in that first innings as well. And the first innings, Shama Joseph, Alzari Joseph got 2 wickets each. Kemar Roach and Justin Greaves. Justin Greaves was the highest wicket taker in that first innings. Got 3 wickets for him as well. Both the Joseph, Alzari and Shama, Kemar Roach got 2 wickets each. And now in the session, West Indies are looking to hold a strong position. They need to build a good partnership. It's a game of patience. West Indies, it's day number 2, and usually we see it's a bowling friendly track. Scoring runs is probably going to be difficult on the surface. Jangu so far playing patiently, 35-71. Scored a boundary of that previous over. They still trail by 143. And if you look at the number of bowlers so far used in this session, Sri Lanka just using 5 bowlers in this West Indies first innings. Asita Fernando, Kasun Rajita, Ratnayake, Sonal Dinusha. Everyone have bowled more than 10 overs. Milan Ratnayake got 2 wickets. Brandon King and Kavem Hodge. Just a single so far in this over. West Indies looking for a solid partnership. And if you look at the fall of wickets, Brandon King was the first wicket, and at that point they were 58 for 1. And then John Campbell, fall of wickets, 97 for 2. Then Kavem Hodge, 102 for 3. And then Joshua Da Silva, the last wicket, 154 for 4. And then they're now looking for a partner. Highest partnership so far in this innings for West Indies was between Amir Jangu and Joshua da Silva. And I think, yeah, John Campbell and Brandon King had a partnership of 58. And I think second highest was between fourth wicket partnership between Amir Jangu and Joshua da Silva. And here we go with that dot ball, end of the over. Just a single run from it. West Indies 166 for 4 after 49. And if you look at the upcoming batters for West Indies, they still have Roston Chase, the skipper. And I think they just have one all-rounder left. And I think this partnership would be very crucial to chase this trail. Roston Chase, Alzari Joseph, Shama Joseph, Kema Roach and Jaden Sales. So they don't have the batting options now. So they would rely on this partnership, and maybe when Roston Chase comes out, that would be the last hope to get some runs on the board on the second day. And here we go, new bowler for Sri Lanka, Dhananjay De Silva. And yeah, he's a skipper who brings himself to ball. Starts off with a dot ball. Batted really well in that first innings. Skipper scoring 120 of 168, 17 boundaries. And getting maximum runs for the team. Batted brilliantly. And that was flighted delivery on the off. Jangu goes back, clips in, but just a single. A slip and a leg slip in place. Sri Lanka looking for another wicket. Dhananjay De Silva, right arm off break, comes into the attack with his first over. And there was a single towards that fine leg. With that dot, last ball of this over. Asita Fernando getting that last wicket of Joshua Da Silva. He departed for 20 runs. And just a single to end this over. 2 runs coming from it. West Indies 168 for 4 after 50. And that's a decent start for Dhananjay Silva. And this is their 6th bowler in this innings. And I'm still looking for that Lahiru Kumara, only bowled 1 over. In this inning, Asita Fernando bowled 12 overs, getting a wicket. Kasun Rajita, 12 overs for him as well. But his wicketless. Milan Ratnayake, he bowled really well, getting 2 wickets. Sonal Dinusha, 13 overs bowled and just 1 wicket. And this is going to be interesting day for West Indies. They don't have many wickets left. They have wickets, but they don't have the batters. Now they'll rely on their captain, Roston Chase, who's the only all-rounder left in this lineup. Then they have 4 bowlers, Joseph, Alzari Joseph Sharma, Kemar Roach, and Jaden Sales. So they look to add around more 50 to 100 runs more from here. Asita Fernando back into the attack, and here we go, Justin Greaves. Sri Lanka striking again, and the new batter Justin Greaves, he's got out, and another one bites the dust. Just 3 runs from Greaves, and West Indies are now under pressure. Sri Lanka getting another breakthrough. And last over before the tea, and Sri Lanka getting another wicket. And it was caught out by Kusal Mendes. And with that wicket, it's time for tea break. Justin Greaves departs for 3. West Indies 168 for 5. Now they have lost half of their side. And it's time for tea break. And Kusal Mendes, a stunning catch behind the stumps. Asita Fernando over the wicket, back of the line delivery, pitch outside off. Seamed away with some extra bounce. Greaves tried to get forward, moves on the back foot, and to leave the ball late, gets some part of the bat. And it is dying. And it is dying to the right of Kusal, who puts in a dive, takes one-handed beauty. And with that, it's time for tea break. And Sri Lanka are looking much better right now. And West Indies would be hopeful with Roston Chase, who would be the next batter, joining in Amir Jangu. And that was just stunning catch from Kusal Mendes, diving across. Goes one-handed, holds on with the right hand. Just outstanding. And Sri Lanka managed to get back the momentum towards them at the end of the afternoon session, pushing West Indies down to 168 for 5. Fernando and Ratnayake sharing 2 wickets apiece. Jangu is still there, who's unbeaten at 37 for West Indies. Let's see how the session goes after this one. So stay tuned. We'll continue after the tea break. And West Indies are still trailing by 140. Okay, welcome back everyone. After the three, West Indies resumed from 89 for 1 after lunch with John Campbell and Kevin Hodge resuming their knocks. Left arm spinner Sonal Dinusha picked up the first wicket of the session, dismissing Campbell for 39 of 64 as he stepped outside the crease to take the spinner and lost his wicket in the process. The partnership of second wicket was worth 39 runs. West Indies trail by 140 runs and will resume batting after this interval. So let's see, Roston Chase is back into the crease, and West Indies would be hoping for a good partnership here on, because now they don't have any batters left, and this would be the crucial moment for West Indies in this innings. And here we go. Roston Chase, 106 innings, 2400 plus runs in his test career with the average of 24. Career best 137. And he starts off with a dot. And after that wicket, Kusal Mendes would be a bit happy. And it was a very good catch when asked on whether the catch will bring the required energy. And Kusal Mendes said, I think it was a very good catch. The bowlers have done really well. We have to take the chances and I am very happy with my catch. And asked whether the surface is changing. And he said, pitch wise, I think it's a little bit hard to play. Conditions are a little bit tough, and our three fast bowlers along with Sonal Dinusha have bowled really well. Sonal has absorbed the pressure and allowed the other bowlers to take the chance. And here we go, Roston Chase gets off the mark with a single. And Sri Lankan bowlers have done pretty well so far in this innings, I would say. Yeah, thank you. Aussie have joined us in the chat section. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's always been wonderful covering the games for West Indies. Single over that deep square leg. Jangu still unbeaten at 37. And West Indies now will be looking to extend this partnership. To extend, I think. Asita Fernando with his 13th over. 2 wickets, 21 runs. Has been exceptional with the ball today. West Indies losing Justin Greaves only at 3 runs. And that was a stunning catch from Kusal Mendes. A wicket and a single so far in this over. Asita Fernando with the last ball. Fernando has been swinging in on and off. And dot ball to end this over. A wicket taking over for Asita Fernando. A single and a wicket from this over. West Indies 169 for 5 after 51. Oh, they have taken a review. Okay, let's have a check. They have taken a review for the LBW. and this would be really important now. If West Indies lose a wicket from here, then there would be more trouble. Okay, let's check at the ball tracker if it's hitting the stumps or not. And that would be 2 in this over for Fernando if there's a wicket. Let's wait for the third umpire. And there's a LBW check going on. That was the last delivery of this over. Getting a wicket of that first ball, Justin Greaves. And I think there's nothing. Dhananjay takes the review. LBW just before the timer run outs. Looks like it may have done too much. That was a fuller delivery, swinging in sharply from off. Jangu was caught in the crease, but I think he's looking safe. Yeah, nothing from the DRS. That's the end of the over. Milan Ratnaike back into the attack. And if you look at that LBW, Jangu was caught in the crease. He tried to flick it across, but seemed to have missed to get pinged on the pads. Ultras comes into play, and in fact it detects the spike. Sri Lanka lose a review. Ratnaike starts off a new over with a dot ball. And if you look at the session so far, Kevin Hoss departed soon after, as Milan Ratnaike delivery with some extra bounce made him chop. With ball back on the stumps, Amish Jangu and Joshua Da Silva 20 of 56 added 52 runs for the fourth wicket. But Fernando induced a bad stroke from Da Silva before Kusal Mendes caught a screamer on the final ball before the tee to send Justin Greaves back in the hut for 3. And now Amish Jangu and Roston Chase will be looking to add a big partnership. Three dots so far in this over. Back of the lane, shaping in towards that leg stump. Defends it on the mid-on. Short of the length again. This was well outside off. And it was moving away. Chase lets it go. And here we go at the first run of this over. They're still trailing by around 138 runs. And with that single last ball of this over. And that was nicely bowled by Ratnayake. And dot ball to end this over as well. Just a single run coming from it. West Indies 170 for 5 after 52. Jangu still patiently playing. 37 of 80, 4 boundaries for him. Austin Chase will have to pay a reliable knock from here because they don't have plenty of batters left now. Asita Fernando back into the attack. Starts off with a dot ball. And that's a great ball again, back of the length, outside off. This time he left alone. And that's again a good length. Same outside off. Defends it on the offside. Consistently, Asita Fernando is bowling at the pace of 125 to 130 kph. And Sri Lanka would be looking for another breakthrough. And that would put more damage in chasing this trial. And there we go, another good length shaping away from the offside. Chase lets it go again. So far, Austin Chase is only using his defensive tactics. This time, pushed it straight on to the mid-on. It was full on the stump. So far, nothing from this over. West Indies still struggling. And here we go, another dot ball. With that, last ball of this over. Asita bowling really well. Good length bowling. Ball is shaping away again. Austin Chase leaving it alone. And that's a Medanova. Asita Fernando ends this with a dot again. And it's another Medanova for him. West Indies 170 for 5 after 53. West Indies try to get at least singles doubles. Try to get some runs on the board. They should avoid being more defensive. And so far it's been good stuff from Asita. A Madden to end. And here we go. Back with the new over. Starts off with a dot. And as Ratnake round the wicket. It was short and outside off. Chops it into the point. So far just dot balls for West Indies. Good length again. Outside off stump. Jangu lets it go. Will it be another Madden? Last 2 balls left in this over. Jangu has been really solid with the bat. Absorbing the pressure. Now let's see what Roston Chase, the captain. Wonderful take from Kusal again. Dives full length to his right. And that was a good ball. Outside the leg stump. And with the dot, last ball of this over. And it has been just dot balls for West Indies. And this time it was a good attacking to the off stump. Blocks it down the track. And here we go, another Madden over for Milan Ratnake. And that's the end of the over. West Indies 170 for 5 after 54. Jangu on 37. Chase on 2. They're still trailed by 138. They need to get as close as possible to maybe around 250. Close to 300. And that's a great shot from Roston Chase. Finally getting a first big hit of the innings. And hit him through the offside. And this time he picked it well. It was short and offside. Kasun Rajita back into the attack with his 13th over now. So far he has been wicketless. But that was a great placement from Chase. Chase standing tall, reaches for the ball, slaps it between cover and mid-off, finds the rope. Rajita so far gave 58 runs in his 12 overs. And this time on the length again. Blocks firmly to the bowler. Sri Lanka eager to get another breakthrough. They know that breaking this partnership would bring more pressure on the batters. Again back of the length, wide off the off stump. Chase leaves it alone. And we have seen Rajita mostly bowling towards that off stump line. West Indies still trailed by 134. Another good length. Chase has no intention to play that. And with that last ball of this over, Roston Chase started this over with a boundary. And here we go, last ball ends with a dot again. And just 4 runs coming from it. West Indies 174 for 5 after 55. Jangu at 37. Roston Chase at 6. Atmosphere has been good here at the stadium. Match has been played at Sir Vivian Richard Stadium, North Sound, Antigua. Here we go, starts the new over with a dot. Milan Ratnake back into the attack with his 14th over. So far he has bowled well in this innings, getting 2 wickets. And there was again a good length, but far away from the off stump. No shot from Jangu. Milan trying something different. Trying to go over the wicket. And this time it was full and outside off. Looks to drive but gets it off the inside half of the bat to the bowler. Field setup has been really brilliant by Sri Lanka. After that boundary, there has been no runs so far. Last run came off Roston Chase hitting that boundary. Since then, yet to see another run. Again outside the line of off stump. Second slips move to the short mid wicket. Another good ball. Good length again outside off stump. Lives alone. And so far no run from this over. And will this be a maiden again with that dot last ball of this over? Ratnayake switches to over the wicket. And here we go. It's a maiden over again for Milan. Another good over for Sri Lanka. West Indies 174 for 5 after 56. Jangu remains on 37. Roston Chase on 6. And they still trail by 134. And here we go, Dhananjay Silva back into the attack and back-to-back singles in this over. Finally getting some singles and doubles. And that's the first run after that boundary. De Silva turning in from the length of the middle leg chase, cramps down, plays it with a soft hand towards that mid wicket. Here we go, another single. Some runs in this over for West Indies. And that was again a good length delivery. On the leg stump, turned off the back foot. Too deep square leg for a single again. And with that dot ball, last ball left in this over. 3 singles so far in it. Jangu with the last ball. And single again. 4 runs coming from it. And Jangu will keep the strike again in the next over. West Indies 178 for 5. After 57. Jangu on 39. Roston Chase on 8. And West Indies, they still trail by 130. Milan Ratnayake back into the attack. And here we go, another misfield. Round the wicket, back of the length. It was round the off. Punch towards the cover. And misfield allows a single. Milan Ratnayake with his 15th over now. 2 wickets, 32 runs. And this time they'll get a couple of runs again. And Roston Chase, he's on double digits now. 10 out 23. Slowly moving the scoreboard for West Indies. And that was over the wicket. Good length again, outside off. Pushed it to the point. And again the fielder misses the direct hit, allowing the second run. And this over has been really good so far. Some misfields happening in this over. Again, this time they'll get 2 again. Ruston Chase getting some singles and doubles. Still 2 balls left in this over. And getting those 2 at the fine leg. And was that leg buys? And yeah, that was leg buys. Leg buys too. And we go another dot with that last ball left in this over. Three off the bat, 2 off the leg by, 5 runs coming from it. Ratnake with his final ball of this over now, and yeah, it's a dot again. And Ratnake ends this over with a dot ball, 5 runs coming from it. West Indies 183 for 5 after 58. Jangu on 40, Ruston Chase on 10. And they're still trailing by 125 runs. And the Silva back into the attack. The skipper starts off with a dot ball. Amir Jangu. He's on 40s now. Just 10 runs away from his half century. Back-to-back dot balls to start this over. And it was full on the off stump. Defense forward. Again, defending on the front foot. And here we go, first run of this over. Amir Jangu, after playing those 3 dots, blocking the balls. And here we go, that's a great shot again. Ruston Chase, boundary number 2 for him. And the captain has been playing sensible innings so far. And they need a partnership right now. Boundary of that 5th ball. And here we go, dot ball to end this over. 5 runs coming from it. And that is a great shot towards that long off. A boundary of this over as well. West Indies 188 for 5 after 59. Jangu on 41, Roston Chase on 14, and they're still trailing by 120 runs. And that is a good shot, good boundary from Roston Chase. Half volley on the middle stump line. Chase gets on the front, launches a big hit over the bowler's head into the long off fence. Nicely played by Roston Chase. And here we go. There is change in the bowling now. Sonal Dinusha is back into the attack with his 14th over. Between Sonal Dinusha picked the wicket of John Campbell. And he started really well. Scored 3 boundaries, 2 sixes. John Campbell scored 39 today. Man, here we go, another single. West Indies currently playing at the run rate of 3 and partnership of 21 of 55, and it's been going on really well. Sonal Dinusha, that was short and wide offside, cuts away towards that deep point for a single. And that was another good ball round. Bowling around 85 kph. This time a difference forward from inside off of the bat. Here we go, another single. That's second run of this over now. With that, last ball left in this over. Let's see what will you see from Latla. It's just a dot ball again. Just 2 runs coming from it. And that's the end of the over again. West Indies 190 for 5. After 60. Amit Jangu on 42. Roston Chase on 15. And they're still trailing by 118 runs. And here we go. Starts the new over with the white ball. Kasun Rajita back into the attack. And that was way outside the line. Rajita returns to the attack, starts with a wide. And it's this time bowling over the wicket. And that's a good shot. Finds the gap, getting 2 runs. West Indies should focus on getting singles and doubles. Roston Chase, Amir Jangu carrying the innings so far for West Indies. And that was a good length. Back of the length. It stayed low. Cuts away to the deep point for a double. Chase reaches out. But yeah, 2 runs. And if you look at the speed, currently Rajita is having some variations now. Change of pace. Sometimes around 120, 115. So far 3 runs from this over. Bowler is top. Let's wait for the next ball. And there's a good length again. Outside the off stump. Seems away pass. Chase again. There was an outside edge as he pokes to defend it. But it will remain a dot. And we got another good length chipping away. No shot offered this time by Roston Chase. Last 2 balls left in this over. And here we go, another single. And with that, Amir Jangu will play the last ball of this over. A wide, a couple of runs and a single, 4 runs so far in it. And let's see what will we see from that last ball. West Indies now getting some runs every over. And that was a sweeper cover, getting that single. And here we go, dot ball to end this over. 4 runs coming from it. West Indies 194 for 5 after 61. Amir Jangu on 42. Roston Chase on 18. And West Indies, they are still trailing by 114 runs. And if we look at the number of bowling options Sri Lanka have used so far. Asita Fernando, Lahiru Kumara, Kasun Rajita, Milan Ratnaike, Sonal Dinusha and Dhananjay De Silva. They have used 6 bowling options. Fernando and Milan Ratnaike getting 2 wickets each. And Sonal Dinusha gets a wicket as well. Okay, we have to wait for the next delivery. Bowler has stopped. And here we go, back into the action. And Sonal Dinusha back into the attack with his 15th over now. And that was a great ball around the wicket, full on the leg stump, driven on the mid off, and still no runs. Back to back dot balls to start this over. And that was again a good length on the off stump, played on the back foot. Still no runs. That was a good stop. Misses the sweep. Kusal makes a good stop. And here we go. This time they'll get a single. Roston chase. First run of this over, pushed onto the front foot wide of the mid of the mid on for a single. And still 2 balls left in this over. Jangu getting another single. Back-to-back singles for West Indies. Last ball. And just a dot ball to end this over. Just 2 runs coming from it. And that was again a good length outside of delivery, punched off the back foot. But just a dot ball. West Indies 196 for 5. After 62, Jangu 143. Ruston Chase on 19. And they're still trailing by 112 runs. And here we go. Dinusha completes his 15th over now. And here we go. What a shot. What a start of this over. Jangu getting a boundary after a long time. And that's a positive start. And with that boundary, West Indies have reached 200 on the scoreboard. And Kasun Rajita tried to ball around the wicket, full on the outside of stump. Jangu on the front foot, slashes hard and gets the thick outside edge. Ball flies over the slip into the third man fence. Sticky, but it counts. And with that, 200 is up for West Indies. And this time another dot ball on the length of stump, defense forward. Some good batting from West Indies now. Partnership of 32 of 74. Jangu very close to his half century. He just needs 3 runs, a big hit away from getting his 50. This time full on the off stump. Steers it to mid on. And again, this was on a just outside off again, on a length outside off, push to mid off again, but no runs. And with that last ball left in this over, just a boundary of that first ball, and that was a sticky boundary towards that third man. Oh, bowler has been stopped. Let's wait for that delivery. Still a ball to go. And that's a boundary again. And with that boundary, it's 50 up for Jangu. It has been a solid innings from him. 51 of 111 balls. And that's the sixth boundary of this innings. And that was what a shot towards that deep extra cover. "50 up for Jangu. End of the over. West Indies 20445 after 63. Jangu on 51. Roston Chase on 19. And they're still trailing by 104 runs. Just exceptional batting from Jangu. And it's maiden. Yeah, Jangu reaches his maiden test 50. And that's a great achievement for Jangu today. Sonal Dinusha back into the attack. Starts off with a dot ball. And Jangu, he has been patient and determined knock. So far, it has been good innings from him. And that last ball, it was slightly overpitched on off. Jangu leaned towards it and creams it the drive. And here we go, another single. Single towards that long on. Roston Chase. Back-to-back singles between both the batters. West Indies getting some runs every over. And that's it, 3 singles in a row now. It has been a great strike rotation between both of these batters. And with that dot ball, last ball of this over. So far 3 runs coming from it. And here we go, just a dot ball to end this over. Just 3 runs coming from it. West Indies 207 for 5 after 64. Jangu on 52. Roston Chase on 21. And they're still trailing by 101 runs. And the skipper is back into the attack. Dhananjay De Silva starts off with a dot ball. And here we go, single again. And now they're trailing by 100 runs. Dhananjay De Silva back into the attack with his 4th over. And again, 2. Good shot again. Couple of runs for Jangu. Chase getting that single over that deep square leg. And this time Jangu. Both the shots played towards that square of the wicket. And here we go, another dot ball with that last ball of this over. Roston Chase getting that single. And after that, Jangu cuts it towards that point for a couple of runs. And single again to end this over. And with that, just 4 runs coming from it. West Indies 211 for 5 after 65. Jangu on 55. Roston Chase on 22. And West Indies currently trailing by 97 runs. Sonal Dinusha back into the attack. And starts off this over with a single. And this partnership has been really working well for West Indies now. 44 of 90. They are very close to their 50-run stand. Jangu getting that single of the first ball. Nicely played towards that deep cover. And this time it was full and outside leg. Chase pads it. And it will be a dot ball. Sonal Dinusha bowling at around 84 to 85 kph. Single again. Last 2 balls left in this over. Again a good delivery. Another dot ball. With that, last ball left in this over now. Just 2 runs so far from this over. Jangu. This time he left it alone. It was sharply spinning from wide off. And dot ball to end this over again. Just 2 runs coming from it. West Indies 213 for 5 after 66. Jangu on 56. Roston Chase on 23. West Indies, they're trailing by 95 runs. And here we go, starts off the new over with a single. Dhananjay De Silva back into the attack with his 5th over now. Roston Chase getting single off that first ball. And this time round the wicket. It was short and outside leg. Chase makes some rooms, punches towards that long off for a single. And this time much better again, outside off. He defends it on the front foot. Here we go, another dot ball, and with that, 4 dots in a row. Last ball of this over. Let's see what can we see from that last delivery. And just a single again to end this over. Just 2 runs coming from it. West Indies 215 for 5 after 67. Jangu on 57. Roston Chase on 24. And West Indies, they're still trailing by 93 runs. And here we go, Sonal Dinusha back into the attack with his 18th over now. Starts this over with a single. And this time it was short and wide, outside off, cracks it off the back foot to Ratnaike at deep point for a single. And this time much better on the length. This time outside leg. Goes back in crease and pads it. Another dot ball. And here we go, 4 dots in a row now. Just a single so far in this over. And 2 runs of that last ball. And that's the end of the over. 3 runs coming from it. West Indies 218 for 5 after 68. Amir Jangu on 58. Roston Chase on 26. And West Indies are trailing by 90 runs. It's time for drinks break. And we'll also have a short break now. We'll resume this game shortly. So stay tuned. And yeah. Okay, drinks break is done. And we are back into this game. Asita Fernando back into the attack, this time round the wicket. And if you look at the summary so far, West Indies fight back thanks to another good partnership between Jangu and the skipper Roston Chase for the 6th wicket. 218 for 5 in the evening session, trailing by just 90 runs. Jangu, having made his maiden test half century, remains unbeaten on 58. With Roston Chase on 26. 3 dots in a row now. That was again good length, swinging back off the middle stump. Defense of the back foot. Asita Fernando with his 15th over. 2 wickets, 21 runs. Welcome back everyone after the drinks breaks. Here we go, that's a cracking shot. Amir Jangu with his 7th boundary. And the duo of Jangu and Chase has been solid as well as gritty now. And these two have staged a 50-run stand. And they're doing good work to get closer to Sri Lanka's total. Oh, it was off the leg by. But yeah, still it will count. Still they'll get the 4 runs. Very close to the bat, missing the flick of the pads. Flick on the pads, ball races away to the fine leg boundary. And with that dot ball, last ball of this over. So far, just 4 leg buys in this over. And here we go, just a single from that last ball. 5 runs coming from it, from this over of Asita Fernando after the drinks break. West Indies 223 for 5 after 69. Amir Jangu on 59. Roston Chase on 26. And they're still trailing by 85 runs. And here we go. Start of a new over with a single. Sonal Dinusha. Back into the attack with his 19th over now. Single towards that cover. That was over the wicket. Good length outside off. He tried to play off the back foot in that extra cover region. This time again, good length. Outside the leg stump, pads it. And as a dot again, back-to-back dots. Sri Lanka would be desperate to break this partnership. It turns it from the front foot to short mid wicket. And here we go, another single. Still 2 balls left in this over. And there was again full length on the leg stump. Sweeps it to the square leg. And with that dot ball, last ball of this over. And here we go, dot ball. From that last ball, just 2 runs coming from it. 1 on the cover, 1 on the square leg. West Indies 225 for 5 after 70. Amir Jangu on 60. Roston Chase on 27. And West Indies are still trailing by 83 runs. Here we go, Asita Fernando back into the attack. Back-to-back dot balls. Again, short of a good length, outside off. Pushed off the back foot. So far, no runs. This time he lets it go. Good length again, outside off. Roston Chase lifts the bat. Three dots in a row now. This time he blocks it. In the offside, again a good length. Last 2 balls left in this over. And here we go, another dot ball. And with that, last ball of this over now. Will this be a maiden again? Asita Fernando with the 16th over. That was a good ball, good length, swinging away from the off stump. This time he leaves it alone. And dot ball to end this over. It's a maiden over for Asita Fernando. West Indies 225 for 71. 225 for 5 after 71. Amir Jangu on 60. Roston Chase on 27. And they're still trailing by 83 runs. Here we go, Dinusha. Ends his over, just 3 runs coming from it. West Indies 228 for 5 after 72. Jangu on 62. Austin Chase on 28. Ratnake backs into the attack. Back into the attack. Starts off with a single. Ratnake got 2 wickets in this session. In this innings. Back into the attack with his 16th over now. Round the wicket, good length, outside the off stump. And he played towards that point region for a single. Back to back dot ball. So far, just single run coming from it. And there was an appeal for LBW, but it was turned down. Chase tried to flick it on the front pads. And again, a good length swinging away from the offside off. Misses on the outside edge. Last 2 balls left in this over. Milan Ratnake. And that's another dot ball with that. Last ball of this over. So far, just a single run coming off that first ball, where Jangu played towards that backward point for a single. Let's see what will we see from that last ball. And just a single again. Just 2 runs coming from it. West Indies 230 for 5 after 73. Jangu on 63. Roston Chase on 29. West Indies, they are still trailing by 78 runs. Just 2 singles and both the shots were played at the backward point. And here we go, Sonal Dinusha back into the attack. Starts off with a dot ball. It was full and outside leg, looks to sweep, but where is it on the pads? Sonal Dinusha with his 21st over. And this time they'll get couple of runs again. Yeah, two. And then a single. Two of that deep extra cover. Two of that extra cover and single of that square leg. Partnership of 65 now between both the batters. And if you look at the stats, this is the highest partnership in this innings for West Indies between Amir Jangu and Roston Chase for the 6th wicket. And dot ball to end this over. Just 3 runs coming from it. West Indies 233 for 5. There's still an over left. There's still a ball left in this over. Sorry, there's still a ball left. Last ball to go. And yeah, just a single of that last ball. And now 4 runs coming from it. Both the batters are playing nicely. So far they are playing responsibly in this innings. And with that, end of the over, West Indies 234 for 5 after 74. Amir Jangu on 64, Roston Chase on 32. And West Indies, they're still trailing by 74 runs. Okay, try right. Come on, captain. And Rangoon, pat and score 100, both of you, and give West Indies a 140 runs lead. Thanks for joining Troy Wright on the chat section. Milan Ratnake back into the attack with a dot ball. And this is his 17th over now. 2 wickets, 36 runs. And this time it was short of a good length, just outside of, defended off the back foot. And here we go, another dot ball. West Indies just getting 2 to 3 runs every over. Currently playing at the run rate of 3. And here we go, that's another great shot. Amir Jangu. Another boundary for West Indies. And this time finds the gap towards that third man region. Three dots, then a boundary. Still 2 balls left in this over. Milan Ratnayake bowling at the pace of around 125 kph. And that's another boundary, back-to-back boundaries. And important runs, but this time it's by. It's extra runs. Extra 4 runs getting after that boundary. And with that, we have reached towards that last ball. So far, 8 runs coming from it. Let's see what will we see from that last ball. And again, that was a good length straight on the leg stump. Jangu swings, misses the flick. 4 byes in the fine leg region. And again a dot ball to end this over. But that's a good over for West Indies. 8 runs coming from it. West Indies 242 for 5 after 75. Amir Jangu on 68. Roston Chase on 32. West Indies, they're still trailing by 66 runs. Okay, here we go. We're back into the new over. And there's a misfield. Sonal Dinusha. And they'll get 2 runs from that first ball of this new over. It's a leg by double. Extra runs again. In previous over, they got 4 boundary from byes. And now 2 again from that leg by. Extras to start this new over for Sonal Dinusha. That was short. An outside leg misses the flick on the pads and picks up a couple of leg byes in the fine leg region. And here we go, Roston Chase getting a single again. And Amir Jangu, so far he has played 150 balls, scoring 68 runs. Still 2 balls left in this over. 2 runs. So far 3 runs. 2 off that leg byes and single towards that short third man. And back-to-back dot balls. With that, we have reached towards that last ball. Let's see what will we see from last ball of this over. Sonal Dinusha. And here we go, couple of runs again to end this over. West Indies now getting runs. They're getting some good runs now. of that last ball. 5 runs coming from it. West Indies 247. Now they are very close to 250 on the scoreboard. 247 for 5 after 76. Jangu on 70. Roston Chase on 33. And West Indies, they are still trailing by 61 runs. And here we go, Kasun Rajita back into the attack. And Rajita rejoins the bowling attack now. So far he has been wicketless, 70 runs without any wicket. And here we go, that's a great start. Roston Chase welcomes him with a boundary. Oh, but it's a bye again. It's bye again. Extra 4 runs coming up for West Indies. And with that boundary, it's 250 up for West Indies in this first innings. And they're getting so many extras now. On the 75th over, they got another bye boundary, and now again, first ball of this over. This time Rajita, he was bowling over the wicket, back of the length, outside the off stump. It stayed low. Chase misses the cut and it rolls between Kusal's leg into the third man boundary. This time again a good length. This time Kusal skips across to his left and collects cleanly. Dot ball. Yeah, that kept very low this time. Partnership is building really strong for West Indies, and the partnership is now on 80s. They are getting close to 100 run partnership now. And this time it is way outside. Wide given. A slip and a gully for Rajita. And yeah, that was short of the length. Kusal dives to his left to collect it, but it was way outside. Another dot ball. Last 2 balls left in this over. And they'll get a single again. So far they got an extra. That's good running. 2 runs from that 5th ball. And so far they have got 7 runs in this over. With that, just a ball left. Let's see what will we see from that last ball. On that 5th delivery, tucks behind the square leg for a 2. Defined leg runs it to pick it up. And just a single again of that last ball. And that's actually an excellent over for West Indies. 8 runs coming from it. West Indies 255 for 5 after 77. Jangu on 70. Roston Chase on 36. And West Indies now they're trailing by 53. Both the batters are playing really well in this first innings. And there's a bad news. Fielder is injured. So let's have a look at it. Okay, Kusal Mendes has injured a finger on his right hand while collecting the throw. So let's just wait for the update. I hope he's fine. And if you look at the scorecard for West Indies in this first innings, John Campbell scored 39, Brandon King scored 31, Kevin Hodge 16 for him, Jangu 70 unbeaten, Joshua Da Silva scored 20 runs, Justin Greaves had a bad day, just 3 runs from him, and Roston Chase the skipper, he is 36 not out. And if you look at the upcoming batters for West Indies, Alzari Joseph, Shama Joseph, Kemar Roach and Jaden Sales. We have to wait for some time due to an injury. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yes, Sonal Dinusha completes this over. Just 3 runs coming from it. West Indies 258 for 5 after 78. Amir Jangu on 71. Roston Chase on 38. And now West Indies, they're trailing by 50. Partnership of 90 runs between both the batters. And Kusal Mendes, after that injury, they had a rehydrate break as well. And now Kasun Rajita back into the attack, starts off with a dot ball. Sri Lanka still struggling to break this partnership. Back-to-back dot balls, Kasun Rajita. That was a good length down the leg side. Kusal Mendes dives it to the left and makes a wonderful save. Again, good length. Pitching outside, Chase leaves. Getting on the front foot. Kasun Rajita still searching for his first wicket in this innings. And this is his 17th over now. Here we go, another single. Roston Chase. And with that, last 2 balls left in this over now. And back-to-back singles, strike rotation has been really good between both the batters. Last ball of this over. Getting that single of that backward point. And dot ball to end this over. And that's the end of the over again for Kasun Rajita. Just 2 runs coming from it. West Indies 260 for 5 after 79. Amir Jangu on 72. Roston Chase on 39. And now West Indies, they trail by 48 runs. And here we go, we're back with the new over. And again, starting off with a dot ball. Sonal Dinusha back into the attack with his 24th over now. Justin Greaves was the last wicket Sri Lanka got. West Indies, they were 168 for 5. And now it has been a long and steady partnership between Amir Jangu and Roston Chase. And they are getting close to their 100-run stand. Both the batters have done brilliant job in this first innings. So far just dot balls in this over. And this was again full on the middle stump, defends it. And here we go, a couple of runs again for Jangu. And with that, last ball left in this over now. And that was a good shot, driven on the front foot through the covers. Deep cover chases to his left, 2 runs picked up, and dot ball to end this over. Just 2 runs coming from it. West Indies 262 for 5 after 80 overs now. Amir Jangu on 74, Roston Chase on 39, and they trail by 46 runs now. And here we go, Asita Fernando is recalled back into the attack, and Sri Lanka have taken the second new ball. And now they'll be hoping for another breakthrough. Starts off with a dot ball, Asita Fernando with his 17th over. Got 2 wickets, and look at that, economically he has been just brilliant. 16 overs, 22 runs, 2 wickets. And let's see, with that new ball, will they get any impact? Let's see how much swing they'll get. And on the lane, swinging away from the 4th stump, defends it of the offside. A slip and a gully for Asita. That was a good length again. Away swinger, outside off. This time he left alone. So far, no runs in this over. 2 slips and a gully in the place in this over for Asita. And here we go, another dot ball. Again in good length on the off stump. This time he left alone. Still 2 balls left in this over. This time it was full on the 4 stump line, driven straight down the ground. Mid off, diving to its right, makes a clean stop. No runs again. And so far 5 dots in this over now. Last ball to go. Sri Lanka have taken the second new ball. And here we go, that's a maiden over. Excellent over from Asita Fernando. And with that maiden over, West Indies 262 for 5. After 81, Jangu on 74, Roston Chase on 39. And they're still trailing by 46 runs. And that's a good start for Asita Fernando after taking that new ball. Sri Lanka still looking for that breakthrough. Partnership of 94 of 185 balls between Jangu and Chase. They are very close to their 100 runs partnership. And here we go, Milan Ratnayake back into the attack with his 18th over. Starts off with a dot ball. Sri Lankan bowlers trying their best to get another wicket. Milan Ratnayake with his 18th over. Back-to-back dot balls. So far, it's a great start for Milan Ratnayake. 3 dots, this time back of the length, outside off. Defends it, offside. And if you look at the pace of Ratnakar, he's bowling around the pace of 120 kph. This time full and just outside of again, defends on the mid-on. And here we go, first run of this over. And after taking that new ball as well. Roston Chase back on the crease. That was a single leg by though. Last 2 balls left in this over. And here we go, another dot ball. And if you talk about that leg by, that was a good length going down the leg side. Jangu misses the flick. And it hits on the pad, collects a single leg by. And again dot ball to end this over. Just a single. And that's the end of the over as well. West Indies 263 for 5 after 82. Jangu on 74, Chase on 39. And they're trailing by 45 runs. And here we go, we're back with the new over. Sita Fernando back into the attack, starts off with a dot ball. Sri Lanka trying hard to get a breakthrough. Partnership is building really strong. And it's getting close to 100. 95 of 192 balls. This time it was again full, just outside off, driven down the track to mid-off, but no runs. And this is the last session of the day 2, third session. And just 8 overs are left after this one. And here we go, another good length, but this time they'll get the single. And between there was an appeal for LBW as well, which was turned down. And a couple of runs for Jangu. and he tried to play towards that cover region. And here we go, back to back 2 runs. Jangu batting really well, and partnership is on 99 between both the batters. Just 1 run away from their 100-run stand. Last 2 balls left in this over now. And here we go, another dot ball. Just 4 runs so far in this over. And let's see what will we see from that last delivery. Couple of shots. Jangu getting 2 doubles in this over. One towards that mid wicket and again towards that cover point. Let's see. And just a dot ball to end this over. Just 3 runs from it. West Indies 266 for 5 after 83. Jangu on 77. Roston Chase on 39. And West Indies, they are still trailing by 42 runs. And Milan Ratnayake back into the attack. Starts off with a dot ball. And this time it's been given wide. And this is the last over of the day. And let's see what will we see from this last over. And Milan Ratnayake will ball the last over of this session. Back-to-back dot ball, just a single so far with that extra wide. This time it was good length, outside out, defended it in the offside. And here we go, another dot ball. Last 3 balls. Again, on the length of stump, defends forward. But this time he'll get single. And we have to wait for that next ball. Just 2 balls left in this over. A wide and a single so far in this first 4 deliveries. And 2 again for Austin Chase. And just wait for it. Let's confirm it again. Yeah, it's 3. They got an extra. That's good running between the wicket. And with that, we have reached towards that last ball. So far in this over, 5 runs. And with that, 100 run stand. 100 runs partnership between Jangu and Austin Chase. And they have played brilliantly on this day too. And they got 3 runs towards that deep mid wicket. And with that last ball, dot ball to end this over. And 100 runs partnership is also up. 5 runs coming from it. West Indies 271 for 5 after 84. Jangu is on 78. Austin Chase on 42. And West Indies, they are trailing by 37 runs. And that's it for the day, guys. And that's the end of the last session. It has been a really good stand between Jangu and Chase. West Indies lost last wicket at around 168. They were 168 for 5. And since then, they have built a long partnership of 100 plus between Jangu and Chase. Sri Lanka struggling to break this partnership. And that's the end of the day. West Indies trail by 37 runs. Okay, thanks everyone for joining. See you all in the day 3 And let's see tomorrow how the day goes for these batters. And will Sri Lanka get any wickets of that first session from the day 3? Thanks everyone for joining. See you all in the next day. West Indies show some good fight with 271 for 5 on the board, trailing by only 37 now. And have added 103 runs for that 6th wicket. And that's it from me for this game. And this is M. Pappu signing off. Do keep joining us for more cricketing action all around the globe. Have a great time. Bye bye. See you all in the day 3.